King Canute replies, King Olaf guesses wrong if he thinks I shall eat up all the kale in England, for I will let him see there is more than kale under my ribs, and cold kale it shall be for him. I guess you could say King Olaf's words really lammed him in hot water. That was terrible. Today, we're going to be making pickled kale lamb. Now, for this dish, you're going to need to start out with 4 liters of brine, which I already have made. It's 1 gallon of hot water, and it's 1.12 cups of salt. So, now if you're like me, you don't have really anything that holds a gallon of water, so I just ended up using the part of my crock pot. So you're going to want that. You're also going to want a rack of lamb with the bones. The bones are very important because we're going to boil the bones with the rack later. Now we're going to start by deboning this. Maybe. So I'm going to cut the meat from the bones. This is where having a good knife comes in handy. Now, this particular recipe comes from the, and I'm sure I'm going to butcher this, the Kaupang region of Norway. It's in the Heimskringla, Snorri's Heimskringla. Quite a bit, actually. And let's see if we can. So it shows up in the Heimskringla quite a bit. It's a yeah, we'll try that again. You know, let's cut that part out. Okay, so this shows up in the Heimskringla, I believe several times in Snorri's writings. As a traditional dish. It's a festive dish, so it'd be something that you would bring to, say, a ritual, or a Blōt, or a party at a friend's house, even. This version is the one that you would bring to a festival. Now, this version, it's not necessary that you do it this way. As long as you cut the lamb and boil it with sauerkraut. Now, unless you can find pickled kale and you feel like pickling it yourself, sauerkraut is a very good substitute here, because it's very hard to find. So, now don't throw the bones away when you're done deboning the meat, giggity. You want to save that because we're going to boil it with the bones in it. So, we're just going to. Now, I picked this up last night from a local meat market. Lamb is expensive, so if you're going to make this, you know, be prepared to spend some money. I believe this particular rack ran me $60, but I guess that's just the way it goes. Lamb is not cheap. Now, for this recipe, you're going to need a few different things. Like I said, sauerkraut is a good substitute. If you can find pickled kale, you know, or if you feel like pickling it yourself, entirely up to you. I choose to go the easy route This week, unlike when I make anything with butter, which I need to put that on the shopping list to buy the sticks of butter instead of the tubs because, well, I don't feel like riding the struggle bus anymore. Okay, so you want to get the bone right out of there. You want to debone your meat, which, I mean, if you know the right person. Never mind. Anyway, so you want to get the rib bones out of it. Now we're going to save these, so we're going to try to get these out of here. Now, you're going to want to if you're going to make this for dinner, you're going to want to start this early because, as with most of the things I've seen, or we've seen rather, aside from last week didn't take too long, but you're looking at about 6 hours of prep and cook. That's not including, removing the rib bones from the meat and all of that stuff, because this has to sit in the brine for 4 hours to really to let it soak. And then you boil it for 2 hours afterwards. Now, some other things you're going to need, a little unconventional, because the way that this works is you roll it. You roll it up into like a log. So some other things you're going to need is baking string or baking twine or whatever it's called. As long as it's baking, like as long as it's non-dyed, not plastic string that you can put in an oven without it melting or seeping into your food, would be the best way to describe that. I'm going to use hemp because it's easier. So, just like I said, this and probably the soaking it in brine is going to be the longest part of the process. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up quick. I'll see you in a second. Now, I almost forgot, a very good friend of mine is a streamer on Facebook. He's a gaming streamer. He goes by the name of Creepy Horseman. Now, in his stream last night, I, being me, made a joke about wearing a Marilyn Monroe dress and not realizing where I was. So, he said, well, if you're going to do that, you have to sing Happy Birthday. Now, I know it's not Creepy's birthday, but all the same, I did promise him that I was going to do that in this video because I can't even take myself serious half the time. I also told him we were going to do it like the Swedish Chef. Now, if you know who the Swedish Chef is, congratulations, you're old like me and you recognize this guy on my shirt. If you don't know who the Swedish Chef is, ask your parents. So anyway, I promised him I would sing Happy Birthday in the Swedish Chef tone. So, if you all want to join me, feel free. Send me a video if you do, because I will absolutely post a compilation video on my channel, should you decide to. You can send it to any of my social media accounts, and I will compile it up into a video. Now, feel free to all join me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Creepy Horseman. Happy birthday to you. Never gonna keep the good live. Alright, now I want to show you guys something while you're deboning this. Make sure that you don't leave any of them in there. That's also bone. Right there. So when you do this, try not to break the ribs. Because it becomes a real bear to get them out of there. Okay, guys, we've got this all deboned, so now we're going to set this in our brine for 4 hours. Now, like I said, make sure you save the bones because later we're going to boil it and we're going to cook it with this. See you in 4 hours. Okay, we're back. You've had your meat sitting in your brine for 4 hours. You can see I've already started the water back here behind us. Now, when I pulled it out, it kind of ended up separating into 2 pieces. Not a big deal. So, I know this is sacrilege. I'm using bagged sauerkraut instead of realistically, I don't even think you can get fresh sauerkraut anymore. So, I'm going to just take it. Now, it says whole leaf is best. I don't think it matters, realistically. I guess we're going to find out. So, I'm just going to take that. Now, I'm going to use both of these pieces. I know this one's got some more fat on it than the other one, but the one downside to this cookbook is there's really not a whole lot of information on it. It just tells you kind of how to make it. So, you know. Now, I am going to be getting a couple other cookbooks. This isn't going to all be, you know, Viking recipes and everything like that. I do want to try and branch out into other things. Because, honestly, I enjoy making, you know, I enjoy making this stuff, and I enjoy making the contents. So, okay, now we're going to want to cover it evenly in sauerkraut. I need my tablespoons. Okay. So, again, trying to find this goes along the lines of trying to find pickled kale. I can't find coriander seeds, so I'm just going to use ground coriander. That's 1 tablespoon for each of these. So, just take that off and see how much of a mess we can make. Because, why not, right? Okay, now, this is going to be kind of the same as last week with the coriander. You're going to want to kind of sprinkle it all over. I feel like they wanted the seeds because of the fact that we're boiling this, but not a big deal. Now, oh god, that's a lot. Anyway, it doesn't say that you have to flatten the meat out, but I used a tenderizing hammer and absolutely did, in fact, flatten my meat out. Usually you pay extra for that, but I did it myself. So, just to make it a little easier to roll up. So I'm going to kind of spread that out a little bit. So we can, that's a lot of freaking coriander. Anyway, now I haven't opened this yet, so we're going to have to take that off. Thankfully this has a, hello? It says pull tab to open, but I feel like whenever they put these on these damn jars, they lie. Hi, can someone call the struggle bus? Because I need a ticket. What the? Who designed this? Lift and peel. Yeah, okay. I'm lifting and peeling, and it ain't moving. All right. I got time for this crap. Dumb. Anyway. All right. Tablespoon of dill seed. I'm a dillweed. We're going to do the same, well, I mean, you could probably just kind of sprinkle it, you know. Now, I'm going to want to shove that, not shove. That's a terrible, terrible way to describe that. You're going to want to kind of press it all down on the meat so that when you roll it up, it's easier to tie. Okay. And just dump the remainder all over the counter. All right, then. Doing great. This is why you guys tune in. It's for the professionalism. Nothing but professional, serious and professional heathenry here. Okay, so we're going to kind of flatten that out and get that all over my hands because it's moist. Now, I should have let this dry probably a little longer, but I'm impatient and I really wanted to get to cooking. So, all right, we're going to take our cord here because, you know. All right, then. Now, I don't think I'm going to need all of this. I'm probably not even going to need about half of this, but... There we go. Got it. Found the end. All right. Need some skizzers. Just going to snip. Now, because we're making 2 of these, I'm going to probably tie these one on each end. We'll see how wide it is. You're going to want to tie them good. You know, you want to use the German specs of tightness. You want them good and tight. So we're going to take this. And I know I can hear all of you rolling your eyes at me right now because that was a terrible joke. And that's fine. That's okay. That's what we do here. Terrible puns, ridiculousness, and general forking around, as the description states. Now we're going to take this and tie it. Now would be a good time to have like a third arm or a third hand or something. You know, that'd be weird. Can you imagine if people had 3 hands? It'd make things a lot easier to get things done, but the slapping contest would be amazing. Now, I'm going to use 3 on this, you know, 1 on each end, 1 in the center, just to kind of try and keep the ingredients a little bit better off in there. Now, obviously, when you're done, this should... That's way too long of a piece. Now this, it kind of fell apart after sitting in the brine for 4 hours, which is why I now have 2 pieces. So, there's that one. Now you can see I got a good rolling boil going too. So you kind of want it to look something kind of like that, you know, just this one I might not need 3 on. We'll see. So, same thing as the other one. You want to kind of flatten everything out, compact it in there, get it all over your hand because that is the most important part. Alright, take that. And then we're going to take this and roll it up into a meat log. A log of meat. Which is a terrible way to describe this. But, no. You stay just like that. This is why I say I need like 3 hands, because trying to, there we go. There it is. Okay, and I'm going to tie this one because of the way it's just kind of going, so I'm going to tie it on the ends too. We're just going to try, you want to kind of try and keep the ingredients inside the meat. Now, if this falls apart, I lost a cord. Hello? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh. Well, we won't be using that one. There we go. There's the end. That's what we're looking for. Anyway. Snip. Okay. So, I lost track of where I was. If it falls apart in the pot, well, Well, I mean, you didn't really mess up too bad because according to what I read, the reason we're doing it this way is because it was more of a like a festival style dish by doing it this way. Otherwise, you can just cook it all together. It's the pieces, the sauerkraut, the spices. It can all just be boiled together as long as you boil it for 2 hours. Now, okay, we're gonna drop that in. We're gonna drop that in, and now, remember earlier I told you to save your bones. Oh, hey, there's the other piece of cord. Anyway, we're going to take these and put these in. Now, when you boil this, you want fresh water. You don't want to use the brine. Use the fresh water. Just kind of drop the bones in there. To cook with it. So we're going to use the majority of the bones. There's not a whole lot of room in this pot, so we're going to want to use the bones. Take the bones you had earlier, put them in the pot with this, and this is going to cook for 2 hours at a boil. Obviously, check it, make sure you don't boil the water out of it, because then you got a whole new set of problems. So we cook this for 2 hours, and then when it's done, we're going to pull it out, let it cool, and try it. It's either going to be really good or it's going to come out terrible. Like I said before, it's either going to make for great content or it's going to be delicious. I guess we'll find out. Just wanted to give you guys a quick look. Just about done. We got about 20-ish more minutes before it's done. It's kind of... It smells amazing. I'm really kind of excited to try it. I've never actually had lamb before, so we'll see how this came out. Alright everyone, I'm going to shut that off. I'm going to pull these out and see how they look. Well, it's tender. That fork sunk right in that. It looks good. It smells good too, so I'm going to set these off the side for now, and we're gonna let them cool for a few minutes. Okay, I think we've had enough time for this to cool. It's not super warm. I can touch it, so. Alright, now it says when you serve this, you want to cut it into thick slices. So I'm not really serving this, I'm just looking to dry it. So I guess if we do this right here, God, that is so tender. Gonna kind of cut that right off there, and I'm gonna lose half of the stuff that I put in the middle, but that looks good. So I guess we'll just try a piece of this first. Now I've never had lamb before. I don't know what it tastes like, so. Okay, that's not bad. If I had to liken it to a meat I've had, I'd say it's a similar taste to roast beef. Let's try to get it with the stuff in it though, because that's really the important part. Now, this did cook up really well. Alright, you know what we're gonna do? Just gonna kind of pile it all on there. There we go. Maybe. Probably. We'll see. This is really good. This is actually fantastic. I'm impressed yet again. I mean, the stew last week was good. I've never had turnips before last week. I've never had lamb before this week, so it's fantastic, really. The spices, the sauerkraut, it all cooked into the lamb while it was boiling, which added a bunch of flavor to it. Now It's a little greasy. I think that mostly has to do with the fat. But otherwise, it's really good. It's very tender the way it cooked. So, if you decide to try this, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know how it came out. Like, subscribe, share. The socials we're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, obviously. So, give us a like, give us a follow, ring the bell. And if you give this a shot, let me know how it comes out in the comments. And we'll see you next time.